Yo, what's up with everybody, man? We going straight into it today, man. My intro, it's not up there, but this is the roster for the Senior Bowl, right? I don't know if y'all can see me. The roster to the Senior Bowl is right underneath me. I'll make it bigger again so that so everybody can see it. So the offense is on the left hand side and brown under the brown, and the defense is on the orange on the right hand side. This is for the American roster. Okay. So I'm gonna try to go as quickly as possible and give a quick breakdown on players. Now I don't know about every single player right on these teams, but I will speak on them according to what I have seen and social media, and I think there was a couple of YouTube videos that may have had some of these guys matching up running backs, linebackers, tight ends, corners, tight ends, safeties, and go ahead and I'll talk about some of these guys and the guys that I've seen. So if I haven't seen them, I'll just tell y'all, look, I haven't seen them or I don't know that much about that player to speak on them, and we'll skip that player for now, right? But if they're in the Senior Bowl, then they got to be nice, right? Let's just say that, okay? So let's start with Jackson Dart. I talked about Jackson Dart with Ole Miss, and how Jackson Dart is moving up a lot of people's boards, up in that number 3 spot. Some people now are even debating whether they might want to take Jackson Dart before Shador Sanders. I think that is, I, you know, I guess the way to say it is Jackson Dart he's more of a risk taker, but he did play in the SEC. And to me, because Cam Ward is up there now, they're top three, and then they said there's a fast decline after the top three. I don't know if I want to say that myself, right? Because I think that there's some good talent out there at the quarterback position. I think a lot of guys have rose up on some people's boards because you have Will Howard. I'll talk about the quarter. I think Will Howard, Riley Leonard's up here. Seth Hannigan's also up here. Y'all know Jalen Milrow. I'm big on Jalen Milrow, although he didn't show good in his Senior Bowl. Um, for whatever reason, I don't know exactly what may be going on with him, but for whatever reason, he didn't show good. But I don't know. It hurts him as far as his money, but I think it helps the NFL team that is willing to draft him in the later rounds. Okay. You know what I mean? As far as drafting, getting drafted day one, day two, I don't know if that's going to happen with Jalen Milrow, but I think he's going to fall right in somebody's laps. And like I said, I don't want to see him go to the Baltimore Ravens, but I think that is the ideal spot for Jalen Milrow, right? For him to sit behind Lamar Jackson, learn from Lamar Jackson. And I don't think that offense will miss a beat. It's just say, something was to happen to Lamar, or Lamar got, sick or anything like that, and he needed to miss a game or two. Jalen Milrow, if he sit behind him for a year or two, I think Jalen Milrow is the right guy to bring right in, even if he's sitting behind him for, 7, 8 games. I believe he should be able to pick up that offense by then, and he can step right in and play him. I would hate to see him go to the Ravens, but let's just be realistic. That is the ideal spot for a quarterback that plays that, because they don't miss a beat, right? They just don't. So let me, you know what I mean? I gotta give the talk about it when it's right. So since I already talked about Jalen Milrow and Jackson Dart, I think Jackson Dart is right there. I don't know if because cornerbacks in the SEC versus the cornerbacks that were in the Big 12, right? So where's the best cornerbacks really? Where were the best cornerbacks at in college football? I mean, we know for sure Big 10 had some, SEC had a couple cornerbacks. It's really tough to say, but I think Jackson Dart to me is slightly, because of the arm talent and the athletic ability. I don't know if he's faster than Shador, but I would love to know and love to see if he's faster than Shador. Um, but I still think he's a great pick. I still got Cam Ward 1A, Shador 1B, Jackson Dart 2, and that's how I'm rolling with it right now. All right. So, but I do think he's a good player nonetheless. So Riley Leonard from Notre Dame. I think Riley Leonard showed us all something different from him moving from Duke. Um, and then being able to go up to Notre Dame and play the way he's playing. I know he had a lot of comparisons, that just wasn't right. You know what I mean? Like we can't compare him, not at all, to you just can't compare him. You know, he's Riley Leonard was a shock to me. He's very athletic. Um he's smart, athletic. There's some things he need to work on. I don't think that he's a immediate starter in the NFL, Riley Leonard. But hey, I've seen guys shock me. He does have the size. He definitely got the athletic ability a little bit than me scooting wise. Because he rushed for a lot of yards and had a lot of rushing touchdowns. It'd be crazy for me to sit here and say Riley Leonard does not have that. Um, but I think that he's a solid pick. I think he'll be a solid late round type of guy, for fourth, fifth round type of guy. Maybe you get him down there on the board, maybe even move up depending on how. Because I believe he's the kind of guy who will go to the pre-draft workouts, the combine, and show out there and move up boards even more. So I do think that Rylan Leonard will do that. Maybe he'll move up, but I still think that's a solid guy. Don't know how he'll pan out. I'm not going to say he's going to be a great quarterback, a good, but what I will say about Ryan Leonard, that I think that he'll be a serviceable quarterback. Okay, I think that's a serviceable guy right there. All right. Seth Hannigan from Memphis. I was huge on Seth Hannigan this offseason. He disappointed a little bit that the Memphis Tigers didn't play up to their capabilities. I thought that Memphis would just run away with the American Athletic this year, having Seth Hannigan come back another year. And I know Memphis runs the air raid offense, and that's on that's their offensive scheme over there. And Seth Hannigan is going to throw for 4,000, 3,500, 4,000 yards every season. I knew that was going to happen. So I was wanting to pay attention to more of his athletic ability. Now, I do think in the NFL, he'll have average quarterback speed to below average type of speed for a quarterback in the NFL, Seth Hannigan. But I do think that's his decision making and in the way that he throws dimes is crazy. Now this is even before the little video that we had seen that we're seeing circulating about the Senior Bowl. Seth Hannigan's been dropping dimes. He's been doing that since last season. If you've been paying any attention to Seth Hannigan and how he's been progressing throughout this season and throughout this college football season. Um, I really like Seth Hannigan. I think that he's definitely a guy that had come in, could sit behind somebody. Um, I'm trying to think of somebody that he'll sit behind. I would love to see him with a great coach like Andy Reid. I honestly would, because Seth Hannigan, he don't he's slippery back there. You know what I mean? Just knowing how to get out of trouble. I've seen him throw in some of these games that Memphis had this year under pressure. Seemed cool. At certain times he would get a little erratic back there, but I mean that comes with a lot of the quarterbacks. They don't just have the poise that Cam Ward and Shador has, and I think that's what separates Cam Ward and Shador from a lot of these quarterbacks. They get hit and they get rushed. They start getting rushed and running when they don't need to, moving when they don't need to. And I think that's what separates Cam Ward and Shador Sanders. And they're like the standard for quarterback. And a lot of guys are looking for that poise in there. And I think Seth Hannigan can get some of that job done. But I like him. He's a good quarterback. So a lot of things he needs to work on, but I don't like I said, I don't think he's a day one starter coming in. He's a guy that you gotta sit behind somebody, good coach, good system, and then you'll have a good quarterback to put in there. You know what I'm saying? And win some games and possibly a couple of playoff games or so, depending on what system or head coach he goes to in the NFL. So I'll be paying attention to that one. Brashard Smith from SMU, running back, absolutely showed out from the beginning of this year, college football season, to what's going on now with Brashard Smith from SMU. Man, it absolutely shocked me to see how he's progressed throughout this season, to see the way that he stepped up. I think he was sharing carries. I can't remember the guy's name he was sharing carries for. Forgive me for that out there, but he was sharing carries with running backs up at SMU, and He got the bulk of them, and every time he seemed to touch the ball, he was explosive, and he separated himself because of the receiving game, being able to catch the ball out of the backfield, make moves. I've also seen him in the one-on-one drills against the linebackers. He was one of the guys that stood out with good route running. And boy, he was a problem. He definitely was a problem. So Brashard Smith, I think, just rose up on a couple people's boards out there. It may have jumped ahead of some guys. Trevor Etienne from Georgia, running back from Georgia. Let's jump up into him. Trevor Etienne didn't have the standout season with Georgia. Georgia was not a ground and pound type of team. He did catch the ball out of the backfield greatly, and that's what he's known for. Boy, those Etienne's got speed, and they're known for catching out of the backfield. I think his big brother may have showed him some things, and working out with him has absolutely helped him because he also stood out in the one-on-one drills with the linebackers. Um, at the Senior Bowl, and Trevor Etienne, his route running is good. Like it's almost like you could put him in a slot, put him to work. Let's go. You can line him up in multiple spots on your offense and run the offense all down back type of guy. And I think that him and Brashard Smith for sure. That's why I think they're at the top of that list because those two guys for sure, without a doubt, can be some serviceable rookies in a one nice 1-2 punch, whatever team they go to in the NFL. And I do think those guys will translate over without a doubt. Devin Neal from Kansas. We already know Devin Neal. He showed a lot of strength. He showed catching out of the backfield too. I think that's something that's underrated with him. Um, I don't think a lot of people seen a lot of things that they wanted to see from him in the Senior Bowl as far as route running. Everybody's got good clips, but I think that there was a little bit thing. But look, Devin Neal is a downhill type of runner, and he can put the moves on you too. He's very strong. He works hard, and that's the kind of guy. And look, man, listen, um, that's the kind of guy that you want on your team, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, big deal. You know what I'm saying? If you already got you a guy out there that can catch out of the backfield really good, then yeah, you need a Devin Neal type of guy to go ahead and run and rock. Then let's get him. I would love to have Devin Neal on the Steelers, but I think Devin Neal's type of style of running is is very like traditional, and he's a hard worker. So I can see him going to a lot of different teams in the NFL. And believe me, I would be shocked if not every team that needs a running back does not have Devin Neal on their board, high up there too. You know what I mean? Because he is him from Kansas. All right. Marcus Yarns from Delaware. Don't know too much about this guy. I don't know anything about the guy from Delaware, but for him to be in the Senior Bowl, shout out to him. He gotta have some, you know what I'm saying? Not even going front about that, but let's give him a round of applause for being in the Senior Bowl. RJ Harvey from UCF. I talked about RJ Harvey the other day. RJ Harvey, I think look, RJ Harvey is like he's to me, like he might be the best to do that, catching out of the backfield. He's by far the fastest running back I think in this draft. I believe nobody has RJ Harvey's speed. Maybe Brashard Smith is close, but I don't think nobody has the speed like RJ Harvey. He's a home run hitter for sure. Man, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, he's a home run hitter for sure. I can't wait to see what he runs in a 40-yard dash come up in the combine because I'm excited to see that. But he's a weapon, man. He's just flat out a weapon. Whether you're going to go ahead and have him, because he what makes him so much more draftable is his catching ability, even though he's a little bit shorter, but his speed, his shift, his elusiveness, his awareness of the game, offensively. um, and then you got you a returner with him too. So yeah, you're getting a running back, special teams returner, punt returner, all of that, and your rookie if you decide to go with RJ Harvey and to get him some reps out there too. You know what I mean? So say you do got two backs, but you go ahead and you draft RJ Harvey because one of your backs contract might be coming up. He's getting his reps on special teams and learning the game speed of the NFL because once he gets that down, he's definitely going to be a name that we're going to be hearing on Sundays. RJ Harvey breaks with 65-yard touchdown to the house. Fantasy owners, yeah, you know what I mean? Like he's definitely going to be one of those names we hear on Sunday. breaking those long touchdown runs for sure. Jaquez Hunter, I'm Jarquez Hunter, man. Like, what can I say? I really like him from Auburn, man. It's a guy that he's a guy that can do all of that. You know what I'm saying? And he's very strong. He runs very strong. I'm not that all these backs can catch, because I mean, like, that's something that backs have to do. But Jarquez Hunter is like, for him to be an SEC running back, he's very underrated, like, or not, you know what I mean, or undervalued, however you want to put that, and he's a steal. He's an absolute steal. I think, what he 5'10", 5'11", 209 pounds, all muscle, all mean muscle, you know what I mean? Run strong, keep his pad level low. He'll go north south, run you over, run around you, put the foot in the ground, cut up field on you. Man, I really like Jarquez Hunter from Auburn. And boy, he's a very physical runner. I like him. Since I think Cincinnati can benefit from a guy like Devin Neal, Jarquez Hunter, Brashard Tootin, Ollie Gordon, this type of guy. You know what I mean? Like those is AFC North type of runners. You know what I'm saying? Guys who run hard and behind that pad level. You know what I mean? So that shout out to them, man. Um, yeah, man. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do the segments, man. I'm gonna break the segments down, because I don't. Well, you know what I mean. I could be on here forever. You know what I mean, talking about each position, and I did the running backs and the quarterbacks. Next for y'all, I'll break down the wide receivers and the tight ends, and then so forth and so on, man. So y'all make sure y'all click the next video, because I know y'all got short attention spans out there, man. So peace.